It's 1944. Delegates from 44 nations have gathered in a grand hotel in New Hampshire. The world lies in ruins after two devastating wars. Inside that room, one decision is about to reshape the global economy for the next 80 years. Britain, once the richest empire on earth, is drowning in debt. And before the ink even dries, global power shifts from the British pound to the American dollar. But this wasn't just a financial decision. It was the continuation of a 500-year pattern, a cycle that has repeated again and again. Rise, peak, overreach, collapse. Every empire follows the same rhythm. So the question is the US dollar next? Our story begins in the mid-15th century. Portugal, a small nation with big ambitions, revolutionized global trade. They mastered navigation, mapped new sea routes, and connected Europe with Africa, Asia, and the Americas. For nearly 80 years, the Portuguese real became the world's first true reserve currency. Lisbon was the center of global commerce. But success came at a cost. Maintaining military bases on 4 continents drained the treasury. Rivals like Spain, France, and Britain closed in. And by 1580, the Portuguese Empire was absorbed by Spain. The world's financial crown passed once again, this time to a new power. Spain's dominance began in the mountains of South America. In 1545, miners in Potosi, high in the Bolivian Andes, discovered the richest silver deposit in history. For nearly a century, Spanish coins, the famous pieces of 8, became the first global currency. They were used from Europe to Asia to the Americas. But the endless flow of silver created inflation and addiction. Easy wealth fueled endless wars. Spain defaulted on its loans 4 separate times. By the 1640s, the empire was drowning in debt, and the silver that once made Spain powerful destroyed its economy. Then came the Dutch Republic, a small nation of merchants and visionaries. Amsterdam became the financial capital of the world. The Dutch guilder was backed by innovation, discipline, and trust. They invented modern finance itself, the world's first central bank, stock exchange, and publicly traded companies. For nearly 80 years, the Dutch ruled world trade. But history repeated. Wars with Britain drained their wealth. The Dutch East India Company collapsed. And by the late 1700s, the financial crown passed again, this time to the British Empire. From the early 1700s to the mid-1900s, the British pound became the backbone of global trade. London was the world's financial capital. At its height, Britain controlled 1/4 of the planet's land and 1/5 of its people. The gold standard made the pound the most trusted currency on Earth. But 2 world wars changed everything. Britain won militarily, but lost financially. By 1945, its national debt had exploded to 270% of GDP. And so, in that room at Bretton Woods, the financial crown passed once more, from the pound to the dollar. From 1944 onward, the US dollar became the center of global finance. At first, it was tied to gold. Then, after 1971, to oil. The petrodollar system ensured that every nation needed US dollars to buy energy. It was a stroke of genius, and it worked. For decades, the dollar reigned supreme. At its peak, 70% of global reserves were held in dollars. The world trusted American stability. But today, the cycle is shifting again. By 2025, that share has fallen below 58%. BRICS nations are creating new systems to bypass the dollar entirely. U.S. public debt has soared past $36 trillion, more than 120% of GDP. And the same warning signs that appeared before every empire's fall are appearing once again. Every global reserve currency has followed the same 4 stages. Stage 1, rise. A nation leads through innovation, strength, and trade. Stage 2, peak. Its currency becomes dominant across the world. Stage 3, overextension. Debt grows, military costs explode, and productivity fades. Stage 4, decline. Confidence erodes, and a new power rises. Portugal lasted 80 years. Spain, 110. The Dutch, 78. And Britain, just over 200. And the U.S. dollar? 81 years and counting. History doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it does rhyme. And that rhyme is getting louder. So, what comes next? Will China rise to lead a new financial order? Will digital currencies rewrite the rules of global trade? Or are we entering a multipolar world where no single currency reigns supreme? One thing is certain. Every empire believes its power will last forever, until it doesn't. If you found this story insightful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into history, money, and power. Because history isn't just about the past, it's the clearest map of what's coming next.